Welcome to the class, students. Today we are discussing some functions of statistics in first chapter, that is introduction, meaning and scope. In first chapter, let us discuss what are the functions of statistics. Let me write one by one and I am going to explain one by one. Functions of statistics. Functions of statistics. First function is, it prevents the facts in a definite form. First one is, it prevents the facts in definite form. It prevents the facts in definite form. It is with the help of figures we can represent the things in their true form. That is, we know the characteristics of statistics. It says that it should be numerically expressed. So, if it is in number only, then we can take a correct decision about our data. Okay, so this is very important. It is with the help of figures. Figures means it should be in numbers. We can represent the things in their definite form. Without a statistical study with our ideas, and it will be indefinite. Without knowing any statistical techniques, if we go to do the analysis, it will give indefinite results. So, the fact should be represented in definite form. Definite form is with a true form. It should be in a real form. Okay. If conclusions are given in numbers, then they are more convincing than conclusions are expressed on the basis of quality. If you say if you give our interpretation or conclusion in statements, if it is in theory, nobody will understand that. Instead of giving the conclusion in theory or in a statement, if we give that in a number form, for example, if we say the price of a particular wheat is increased 15% compared to last year or compared to 2019. If we give this in a percentage 15%, then everybody will understand and our conclusion will be clearly understood by the whoever will see or give the interpretation. It will be in a easier form. For example, there is a lot of employment in India. There is a lot of unemployment in India means, instead of giving such statements, we know nowadays we are suffering from unemployment, but if we give that statement in a percentage form or per thousand, how many unemployments are there, for how many 10,000 people unemployed are there. If we give the result in that way, in a numerical form, then it will be easy to understand for common people also. So, it should be in a definite form. And second one, it simplifies and condenses the size of the data. Second one, it simplifies and condense the size of the data. Okay, it simplifies and condenses the size of the data. Statistical represents a large volume of complex data in meaningful and understandable form. That is, for example, if we conduct a census, when we conduct a census, we will collect the data based on so many categories, based on so many topics. We will conduct the data and we are going to collect the data on that. That data is very large and it will be in a complex way. That is, we cannot understand the for what reason we are collecting so many things. After collecting the data, we can bifurcate based on the categories. Then it is easy to calculate or give the analysis and give the conclusion part. So it will simplify and condense the size of the data. If our area is wider, if we collect the data and we can give the conclusion for a sample part also. If we collect the sample, we can give on an average result conclusion for whole locality also. Both cases are possible. So even though we collect the data for a large amount, we can reduce that to our simplification. This is our second one. And third one is it facilitates comparisons. It facilitates comparison. It facilitates comparisons. Yes, statistics makes the comparison of particular phenomenon possible through various techniques like averages, time series, index number, measures of dispersion, measures of skewness, etc. Comparisons can be done for even though if we having more large amount of data, we can give the comparison. Statistics is very useful for comparison, and we have so many techniques to we have so many phenomena or techniques, statistical techniques to compare the things. First one is, already you have studied the averages. Averages is nothing but mean, median, mode, GM, HM. Those are the averages. We can compare the two averages, or we can compare the two types of data so that our conclusion will be easier. And in time series also we can compare by seeing the, for example, in time series, if we consider the rainfall for the year 2019, we will record that rainfall and we can predict the rainfall for the next 5 years, 10 years, like that. So using that prediction, using that comparison, we can take some guidelines, or we can take some precautions for the next year's rainfall. What are the things that happen during this year rainy season, and if we come across any floods like that, and what are the districts we have come across in that year, using such type of data in time series, we can predict for our future also, and it will be very useful. In index number, another one is index number. In index number also we can compare the price, quantity and values, and our day-to-day lives consuming, which type of the consumption, or our budget level. We can compare this month budget and the next month budget, or from the governments we can compare the last year budget with the next year's budget. We can predict that using this index number. In index number also, price quantity also we can compare. We can compare this price and quantity for various commodities, and it will give a clear picture for our predictions or interpretation. And measures of dispersion. Dispersion is nothing but the scatteredness, how the values are scattered. We can compare this for two types of data, but it should be homogeneous. Then it will be easy to give a conclusion or a interpretation regarding the data whatever we have collected. And measures of skewness, you know how we will interpret or give the conclusion or give the comment for skewness, whether it is a positively skewed, whether it is a negatively skewed. Those things we can give the comments or conclusion part using our skewness. So this comparison is very, very important, and it is very useful, and this is one of the functions of statistics. Next is, it enriches our knowledge and widens our experience. Fourth point is, it enriches our knowledge and widens our experience. Widens our experience. Statistics provides opportunities to enrich our knowledge and enhance our experience with the help of statistical techniques and methodologies. The last one, for whatever the methods I have told for comparisons, for example, averages, time series, index numbers, dispersions, skewness, correlation, regression, so many things are there. These things are very useful, and using those techniques we can gain a knowledge or provides opportunities. It will give the opportunity to know about the subject and enhance our experience with the help of statistical techniques and methodologies. We can use these methodologies. Using that we can predict for our future also. So this is one of the functions of statistics. And next is helps in formulating policies. It helps in formulating policies. Policies is nothing but various economics policies, business policies. Many governments will use this statistics to form 5-year plannings or whatever the packages, whatever they are given. For those things, this statistics is very, very important. Statistics facilitate the formation of various economics and other policies of states, national and global level. We can use this statistics for our global level also. Business organization also make use of that statistics for formulating of policies in the area of finance, marketing and personal. In business, how it will be useful means they can predict the future price and quantity, demand, supply, how much they have to supply and what is the demand for the product. In future days, what will be the demand, how to recover that demand, those things we can come across using this statistics. And our previous knowledge of statistics it will be helpful for our future prediction. And in marketing also, and for our marketing, for which type of product we have to give and how it should be, and on which type of advertisement will give more publicity and more it will give they can get more profit, and which type of marketing, which type of advertisement they have to come across. These things can be predictable using our statistics. And in demand and supply, for what is the demand for our future and how to supply such thing. For example, our food productions, wheat, rice, ragi, whatever it may be. If our population is growing day by day and it is our duty to provide food productions or our day-to-day lives things, whatever we are using, that is very, very important. That can be predictable using our previous knowledge, and this is helpful or useful for our it is very useful from our statistical surveys. And statistics is the formation of policy in the area of finance also, economics also. In economics, what is the GDP, how it will be increasing and how it will be decreasing, why it is decreasing, and what are the measures we have to take to overcome these disadvantages, whatever it may be, in economics and in business, in all the fields, this statistics and for making the policies in state governments also, in central governments also, or for throughout the globe, we can use this statistics for formatting the policies. Next, it helps in business forecasting. It helps in business forecasting. Business forecasting. Forecasting refers to the process of predicting future events. Statistics facilitates business forecasting through various techniques as time series, interpolation, extrapolation, etc. See, business forecasting is very useful. For business forecasting, the statistics is very useful because it for business, which type of, before we are starting any business, we have to see what is the demand, what is the trend we are having nowadays. If we, for example, nowadays nobody will go for theaters, everybody will go for the INX, INX or multiplex, like that. If we start any small theaters, it is no use of that. Instead of that, if you invest that for another thing, for example, nowadays chats or online bookings, online products are very trend now. Online products are, everybody will prefer online products, online shoppings. If you start such type of business, that will be useful. We have to see which type of business we have to start and what is the use of that and how to develop that. For that we have to see the previous statistical records. Using that only we can go for the further methods or methodologies, which type of business we have to start. Those things we can use. And business forecasting is nothing but demand, supply and the requirements, whatever it may be, and the price, quantity, how much price for, whether we can reach for the demand, what is the amount of the demand we are having, whether we can reach the supply for that demand, whether we are capable of giving the supply, that we have to see. And for that, this statistics data will very useful. And to see that business forecasting, time series is and the extrapolation. Time series and the extrapolation are very important. In time series, we can predict for further 10 years also, whether it can be for rainfall, food production or sales, whatever it may be, our productions in factories, productions, or which type of sales we are having. Seasonal sales will be there. For example, nowadays it is a winter season, sales of sweaters will be more. So these type of forecasting in business, it's very useful using our time series. And the next one is, it helps in framing and testing of hypothesis. Last one, this is, it helps in framing, and testing of hypothesis, Statistics facilitate the formations of hypothesis, testing the validity of hypothesis and developing a theory on the basis of results. Formation of hypothesis, testing the validity of hypothesis. This is very important. See, if we want to predict, for example, rainfall. If you want to predict the rainfall for next 5 years, we have to collect the data of rainfall for last 10 years or 5 years, so that we can predict what will happen for next 5 years. Instead of that, if we collect the data for past 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, 50 years back rainfall, if we have such type of data, it is no useful. So before we are giving the a result or a hypothesis, we have to test the hypothesis with a suitable condition. That is very important, so that the statistics are very useful. Statistics facilitate the formation of hypothesis, validity of the hypothesis, for how many years we can use this hypothesis. That is very important, that we have to see. For theory, based on the theory, and theory on the basis of the results. Based on the results for last 5 years, of rainfall, we can predict the next 5 years rainfall. So this validity is very, very important. Not only our prediction, that prediction should be useful for further future, for further study also. That we have to see. So these are the 7 functions of statistics, and in examination also, if they will ask for 1 marks also, 2 marks also, or 5 marks also. For 1 marks you can write any one of the points. For 2 marks any 2 points. For 5 marks you have to write all the 7 points, so that you can score good marks. Okay. So these are the 7 functions of statistics. Please go through this. Okay. Thank you.